What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Italian Stallion, here for another episode of Rebels with Oz. Fun Wednesday night. This is my favorite time of the week because I get to entertain you, lovely Rebel fans out there. Rise up wherever you're sitting right now listening to the show, whether you're there in the heart of Marble City, whether you're there at in West Bearden, Westmoreland Hills, Mechanicsville. Let's not forget West Hills, Kingston Pike, Sequoia Hills, anywhere where the West Rebels reside or have resided in the past, off of Western Avenue. Love all the support that we've been getting, and a lot of people have really the subscribe button. If you like the show, hit like and subscribe. Even if you ain't a fan of the Rebels and you're a rival school, we'd love to have you in your opinion. Honestly, that's what this show is all about. But we got a fun show tonight. We'll talk a little basketball because some of the area teams are going to Chattanooga. We want to wish them luck, even though our guys fell just a little bit short, and maybe it might motivate our guys to get to that promised land come next year. But without further ado, we also got a special guest. I'll give him his proper introduction. This is this cat behind me right here, the legendary Michael Lynn, one of the hardest hitting linebackers, knocked out yours truly. And I was like Apollo Creed on the canvas, just convulsing there after I was like, what the hell just hit me, man, honestly. But I didn't take those hits at Bearden, but he was like, welcome to West High School, Stallion. So that's what he said, and just walked right over me when it was done. But that being said, we're going to talk with him, hear his story. We'll even talk a little spring sports for the West Rebels. They just got their season started, and hope I get to catch a baseball game and have a hot dog on a nice warm night and so forth in the spring. And we're getting closer to spring football, baby. We're getting closer to spring football now that it's March and got March Madness. And next week, we're also going to do a roast next Tuesday. So I hope people will tune in and want to jab at me a little bit. I can take it. I wouldn't be much of an Italian stallion if I couldn't, but celebrating my birthday with you guys on a Tuesday. But that being said, I'm going to bring on my co-host. He is such a hardworking man. He's so busy. But you know what? He comes to entertain you guys because he loves you. He's a true rebel with a cause. Our Mr. 2003 West, our exclusive voice of the Rebels for 18 plus years now. You give him a mic and he will entertain you just like he does on this show each and every week. And you should go hit him up and make sure that he takes care of you at Comcast there. But anyway, without further ado, my brother, my dude, the one, the only two-pair Tate. Let's give it up for him.
What's up, man?
Hey, look at that. Dude, I love that hoodie, by the way. That one is just fire right there, man. Look at that. So
yeah, it's like the West Athletic hoodie. I got this like in 2018.
It is.
I want a back-to-back hoodie. I want a back-to-back hoodie. I want one of those.
And I'll tell you this. What I can see about doing, I'll see about trying to get you one. I know that they have excessive stuff that they're going to sell at the first football game. That's what they did last year, trying to get rid of that merchandise. So yeah. I'm going to find out if I can get you something.
Please.
So.
I definitely want a back-to-back hoodie.
Dude, you know how I rock mine all the time, and the shirt and everything. And speaking of shirts, you're going to get yours hopefully this weekend and so forth. But we got the logo done by my gal, Miss Kim Castle, Rebels with a Cause. So that's going to be the shirt that we are now going to be rocking. And I know I'll be rocking them at sporting events from here on out and so forth because, the clock don't stop at 0. You're always a rebel with a cause. That's what we
true.
Always say. So.
It's looking really good for the area high schools, AE, Fulton, Alcoa. I'm not going to lie. When you look at Austin East, it's the backcourt play. And then you also got to look at D-Mark, who was a transfer from West, who he's been the glue guy and getting stuff done down low while the Cherry guys rock out. And I want to say the Knox Focus named Shane the player
of the year.
of the year.
Yep.
Also shout out to Coach Norris at Webb, who I ain't gonna lie, he's one of the best coaches in the city. And we got to give props to Jawan Smith over at Cat.
Oh yeah.
But in football news, the news that shocked everybody today, I heard it on Swain and Ward, or Josh and Swain. Josh
Yeah.
and Swain.
Yeah, and I tried to send it to you this morning as soon as it came across my 5-star preps little alert thing that I subscribe to every month. So yeah,
Eddie Courtney, one of the area he was at Farragut since '96.
yes, yeah, and even before then as an assistant, except for 3 years from 1977 to 1995 before he ultimately got the job. So he is Farragut. So
yeah, like that's a huge, like, dude, it's well over 30 plus years.
Yep.
At one school.
Can I tell you this? I read the article with 5-star preps, and let me tell you this, Jesse Smithy does such a great job with the 5-star preps, him and his staff. They bring you all the sports. I mean, this is stuff that we wished we had when, poor Jerome Taylor was doing it by himself on the inside perspective. But, I mean, Smithy's taking it to a whole nother level, and now with the age of media, it's not a print thing. It's there at your phone, you can access the articles and everything like that.
You know what? My bad. It wasn't over 30. Hold on. He was there at 96. So
so it's close. But you want to know something too, Pear? If you even want to count 77, he's been for well over 40 years now. If you think about that. So,
I was like, hold on, wait a minute. If it was it would have been
Well, and you want to know something too? In the article, it really hit me hard because he mentioned that his daughter missed out on him, and that was the one regret that he had. And you see, I went to school with Megan at Farragut Middle before, I went to Bearden High.
Okay.
And so Megan was a really cool girl, and we were the same age. And, she was just like, yeah, my dad's the football coach at Farragut. And I was like, Eddie Courtney, Megan Courtney, I should have put it together. But, she felt a little bit of that when you're the daughter of a football coach, you're kind of left behind and kind of out of the equation. Her younger brother, Jeff, who I think is probably going to get the job. I mean, they're going to do an application and people are going to apply and they'll interview, but he almost seems like he's the heir apparent because he has been the offensive coordinator since 2018. He played at UT 3 years under Fulmer, 1 year under Lane Kiffin. So he's got experience, and it almost seems like he is the heir apparent to inherit it. Kind of like a thing at Fulton, when Rob Black, inherited it from Bob and so forth, but there was Buck Coatney in between and everything like that. So it's kind of cool that the Courtneys are kind of all Farragut High School, But me personally, there's a guy that I hope that we have on here as a guest, Mark Giles, who is a 94 Rebel with a Cause. He was an assistant coach at West when they won the 2014 title coaching running backs, and now he's the running backs coach at Farragut. I hope that maybe he gets a shot because he's been passed up for head coaching jobs like Kevin Lane. And if anybody deserves a shot to maybe see what he can do at Farragut, he's at the building there. I hope that they give him a fair interview because anybody would be lucky to have Mark Giles as a head coach, honestly.
Yeah, I like Mark's a great guy.
Yes, he is.
Fundamentally sound when it comes to coaching.
And the players love him. I mean, all his running backs.
Mark, and his attention to detail is second to none. What he's done as just a guy that's been in that building and knows the kids. Like the kids love him. I've never heard a bad thing about Mark Giles. Mark Giles would be a great hire.
Mark Giles would be a great hire. So they can't go wrong because you've got consistency. You've already got 2 members on staff that know the kids. And I think it would make that transition very easy, compared to bringing in somebody new, a whole new set of offense and defense. I just think that the staple of Eddie Courtney and the calmness that in the demeanor he brings to that sideline is definitely going to be missed. It's like it's like a Dean Smith, Coach K thing there, like on the sideline, like there's just that presence. And I'll tell you this, I think Eddie Courtney, if you can't blame him, he went out a winner. His last game was beating Maryville, and Farragut hadn't beaten Maryville in a long time,
Yeah.
and that's a good way to go out, honestly. If you can't
Great way.
beat Maryville and you ended the regular season 4-6, I mean, and really, if not for one bad game against Cleveland, should have been in the playoffs, and they would have been a dangerous playoff team in the 6A, honestly.
Oh,
they really would have been.
But do definitely want to give them props on that championship winning team.
Oh my God, yes, 2016. They let me tell you something. And the best part about that year, that was really supposed to be West's year, and West just had the worst year you could think of. Jeff Herrig was a complete flop, and thank God we got Lamar, and he righted the ship. It took a couple years, but here came Farragut out of nowhere, and they won that ship and beat a heck of a team over there in I think it was Scott Blade's team over there in Middle Tennessee. I forget who it was, but nobody gave them a shot, and they won that championship, and they have a 5A state championship under their belt, 2016. So, yeah I mean, they were a great team.
Wow, it's even wild thinking about how they won that and looking at the team. Just to circle back on it, looking at that West team and that West group, because there was a lot of talent on that.
Oh, I mean, if you remember, we were filming the documentary hoping that we could get another state title out of that group, because the seniors that year were the sophomore backbone of the 2014 squad. Shout out to Eric Middleton, Tyler Jones. They had some guys there, and I just don't know how it didn't happen. Christian Romines was there. So DeCasio Clark. I can go on and on about guys that played.
Christian Romines.
I just don't know how it didn't happen for that group, and then they didn't even make the playoffs, and then it was like Jeff Herrig's out, Lamar Brown comes in, and it took a couple years, but man, Lamar's got us rolling, as you can see there. I don't know if you can see under my name, True Pair. 463 days, man, and it's going to keep going. So.
I see it. That's so. It feels good when you can say that about your school.
Oh, yeah.
And I just don't want them to. They got a chance to do something that's been done. It's not been done at our school.
No. As a matter of fact, there's not even been a 5A 3 straight champ. Not since Maryville. When Maryville moved up, that was a different story. They did it down in 5A and so forth, but not since Maryville has there been a 5A school to win 3 in a row. Central did 2 back-to-back. Yep. It's been a different champion every year, but West has now been the second team to do it, and they have a chance to maybe go 3 in a row, and I think they have a great shot at it. I really do. And now that it's March, we're getting closer to spring practice, which I'm getting giddy about a little bit. So, yeah, for sure. And then, of course, baseball started this week. They took one on the chin yesterday against Farragut. But, Farragut in baseball is ranked number 2 in the country, not just the state, the country. And they're a shoo-in to probably win another state title. And, I mean, you talk about banners on that outfield fence there at Farragut. I mean, it's like, oh.
It's like they are in a class by themselves when it comes to baseball. It's not close.
Yeah, it ain't even. And soccer, the boys soccer, they were up there too for a while there with Wally Culbreth as their coach for the longest time too. So spring sports dominated Farragut High School, and so forth, and all their things. West boys soccer is trying to get back to state for like the third year in a row. By the way, they return a lot from last year's team, so they've got a chance to make a name for themselves and so forth. And then softball getting to play their whole season in that brand new beautiful facility that they put there, where the old practice field is, where I used to go against this guy behind me and so forth, and where you scraped your knees a few times or so, there. So, I mean, but it's a gorgeous facility. The whole facilities at West are second to none right now. And if you can catch a ball game this year and it's a nice day, definitely go support them, because any 3 of those teams should have a good year, honestly.
Yeah, they really should. And, the basketball season didn't end the way we wanted it to end. I still the way they lost to Bearden when you describe it, and then I've been able to look back at it, and just talking with Garrett Birch some, and he's just rehabbing the knee. I just think there's a bunch of what ifs, like we said on the last episode. I look at a guy like Robert Schuler next year. Before we even get to our guest, who's one of the dopest, one of the dopest dudes I've ever met in school, and just an incredible, talented football player.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, I got to brag on him a little bit. But
Yeah.
talking to the guys on the basketball team, I told a lot of the guys, like, I can help you with skill development. You know what I mean? I feel like if there's a way to work with a Robert Schuler, a Garrett Birch, those guys can be the best shooters in the city. And a guy like Joe Dupree, the law firm of three, which you gave him that nickname.
Yep.
I really think for West to be successful in basketball, they need to do a few things. Guys like Kalu Fofana, who I think is going to be the gem out of this freshman class.
Mm-hmm.
Get him with Jalen Hill, with Reese this summer, and increase the tempo when the guard play. If they increase the tempo and space the floor, they become a whole different team. And then if you're able to get guys that can shoot off the dribble instead of just the catch and shoot is okay. Have a few guys that can do it, but where I want to help in the skill development is coming off one dribble, coming off two dribbles, coming off a screen and dribble. Because a lot of times when you watched West play, that's where they had trouble at against Bearden, Maryville, and their district champion. They beat the district champion twice.
Mm-hmm.
They beat a Bearden team twice, lose to Maryville, lose to Oak Ridge, and I got to say, Ray was all that and then some. I got to give the kid props.
Oh yeah, no, he showed out that I wanted to speak about basketball for a minute, and I know our guest is waiting patiently, and I can't wait for you to ask him that first question, because honestly, the legend kind of surpasses him. Is like, has anybody knocked him out? Really? I don't think so. I mean, I want to hear. It must have been when he was 4 years old or something, but if that. But talking about basketball, man. I mean, Maryville just is playing at the right time. They're at state. They ran Morristown West off the court. And I was thinking to myself, man, that should be us. Like, that should have been us that ran off Morristown West on Monday night at the Rebel Rowdy House, Bearden lost a heartbreaker on a last-second three-pointer, which is kind of karma between you and I, of how they hit that three-pointer to send the game in overtime. And what goes around comes around. I hate to say that. Yeah. Fulton was dominant as ever. I mean, they look like they're cruising. The Kimber twins and that group is going to go back-to-back as well. They should, Austin East, I hope Shane Cherry's right there, with it. And let me just tell you something. Props to Javin and Alcoa, dude. That guy is like averaging 30-something points right now, and everybody knows their role on that team. And I wouldn't be surprised if Alcoa and Austin East meet for the state championship, which would be just absolutely incredible. One of them. You know what? I don't know if I could make it down there, but I've got to watch that game on TV. They'll be on the television. So yeah, I mean, oh my God.
If I'm not in the building, I'm definitely watching on TV.
Yeah. So good luck to Fulton, Austin East, Alcoa, and Maryville. I mean, there's an opportunity for 3 area teams to bring back gold balls, if everything kind of works out the way that it should. And like I said, it's I hope that the West boys really watch that, because that could easily have been them this year, and it definitely needs to be them next year. And have fun out there, guys. You don't look like you're having fun. And you guys are fun to watch from my perspective as a fan in the stands. So it's like, you guys can take that next step, but it starts now. in the off season. Just because the balls were put away doesn't mean you can't be working on lateral quickness, getting stronger in the weight room, gelling together, meet up at a court somewhere if you can't get access to the gym. Maybe check with coach if you can get access. I mean, it's that work that you put in when you don't have to put it in. It's when you run one more hill or stadium than the guy that's going to be competing against you next year. I mean, these are facts. And I would love nothing more than for you guys to have your own trophy and your own legacy, And the other thing too is Pair, if we run into Romero, we have got to talk to him about bringing on that 2000 group of Mike Morrow and all of them, because it would be the 25th anniversary of that district tournament championship. And they need to be honored on a Friday night sometime next spring. They really do. And give them enough time to get everybody in town that can make it. Even have Coach Lindsay and Coach Petco out there too, as the two coaches of that team, and so forth like that. I mean, there should be some special thing for that group. So as being the only one. So, yeah. Real quick, before we bring our guest on, I just wanted to say that the views and opinions of this program are not affiliated with those of any other organization or West High School. This is just myself and Two Pair Tate's views and so forth. Like them or hate them, there are views, guys. Okay, create your own show and rebut us back. We got a new sponsor tonight. I want to give a shout out to my gal, Miss Kim Castle. She made these shirts for us, Rebels with a Cause, getting that brand out there. She's opening up her new place. She's the chambermaid, as I like to call it. She just opened up King's Chamber. You want to talk about getting your beard done, your hair? This place is not only going to offer drinks, but it's got a cigar lounge as well. They're going to have food. They're going to have TVs with a game on. She's going to be cooking. It's going to be an amazing experience. Pedicures, manicures, all that stuff going to be opening up very soon. And that's the location, 3713 Washington Pike. That's the phone number right there. So definitely hit her up. She's already taken appointments, so she'll take care of you just like she does me every day before the show, every week before the show. So she takes care of me. I also want to give a shout out to a Rebel with a Cause, Mr. Alex Thatcher and the Knoxville Coffee Company right there in the heart of Marble City.
Yeah.
You want a good brew? You go
Coffee,
hit
baby.
Yep. And Alex Thatcher played freshman football at West, by the way. So yeah, he was a Rebel. So people forget about that. But yeah.
Yep. I got a funny Alex Thatcher story.
Please tell it.
Alex Thatcher. Me and Alex Thatcher, our football numbers were close together. I had got his bag on accident, didn't even know it. And yeah, man, so he's wearing my number. I'm wearing his number.
What was the number, Two Pair? What was your number?
I wore 87. It was really 88. I know. I wore
a great wide receiver number, man. That's Michael Irvin, right? 88.
I wore it. But then it's crazy because I was trying to get number 9 my sophomore year, and I couldn't get. I know this sounds bad, but I told Rogers, I was like, man, if I don't play basketball, I'll play football. Mm-hmm. But Alex Thatcher, when I tell you this dude, one of the best dudes you can have in wellness on your team. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Me and Jeremy Pegas and Alex Thatcher, we racked up touchdowns.
That's awesome.
Racked up touchdowns.
Dude, I'll tell you this. I loved Alex. Alex and me played Little League Baseball together at Knoxville Youth Sports. We even won a championship with the Weigels team. Our nickname was a jug of milk, and we would hold the old jug of milk, if you can remember that, where you could take it to Weigels, they'd refill it. Like it's so different now, and
I remember times.
Oh my God, it's just nuts that actually was a real thing, and that was a culture shock to me because we didn't have something like that in Miami when I was coming here. That you bring your jug back and you get 25 cents off your milk for the next one for the new jug that they give you, and then they wash them out and reuse them, and now it's like all plastic. But anyway.
Yeah.
So, and our last sponsor, our boy Terry Maples, On the Level Construction and Remodeling. I hope he gets me a phone number or something, because I'm sure that he would do a really nice job for you. If you need some project done at your house, nobody will make it with more love. And he's probably entertaining while he's working out there as well for you, him and his crew. So definitely, hopefully I can get a phone number for next week's show for On the Level Construction and Remodeling. And I'm sure he'll want to be a part of my roast next Tuesday. So, but anyway, we'll have fun with that when we get to there. But without further ado, let's bring him on, okay? He was nicknamed Skeletor. You didn't know if he was smiling or if he was angry. He didn't care who you were. He'd hit you just the same. And on top of that, I would love to have known if stats were taken, how many tackles were truly his. He did keep up with it his senior year, and I'm sure he's going to talk about that. But I nicknamed him Ivan Drago, because if you went up to him and didn't think he looked like much, he'd be the type that would look at you and be like, you will lose. And yeah, that's what he did, honestly. He was Ivan Drago. Well, without further ado, the legend himself. I want a big Rebel with a Cause welcome. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Michael Lynn. Let's give it up, everybody.
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Man, this is
Doing great,
awesome.
brother. Good to have you on, man.
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you great.
Okay. Hey, just throwing it out there, man. I'm no doctor. I'm no mayor, so we can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about.
Oh, hell
You know, this sounds like the gloves are off. Drago and the Stallion and two pair. It looks like it's gonna. Gloves are off.
That's the only way to do it, man.
Hey, if Troy Smith is watching, and I hope he is, or whatever like that, it sounds like it's another After Dark sequel. That's what it sounds like.
Hey, that's usually the way it goes down, man.
Hey, man, we appreciate you coming on.
That's for sure.
I definitely got to ask you, in your time of playing, coming up, who was the first person to bust your ass?
Oh, this one's easy for me, man. I guess it was when I was about 6 or 7 when I first started playing football. It was like my first practice, dude. I'm telling you. I'm lined up. I got this big old helmet. Didn't have my helmet buckled. I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lined up on the other side of Travis Dixon. I'm sure y'all know him.
Yes.
Intro.
Dude. Oh, yeah. Travis Dixon, man. I went up to tackle him. I stopped. Dude, he ran me over, knocked my helmet off. And pretty much to that day, I'm like, that shit ain't happening again. So from then on, that's pretty much why every practice, every scrimmage, I'm gonna hit you before you hit me.
Right.
Well, now I understand the freight train I was going up against.
I understand.
Damn, so shoot. I never
Oh yeah.
Cause like I don't ever in all of my days of watching West and like from the side of playing basketball mostly and then watching football, you the one guy I've never seen get knocked out crazy. Like I've always seen you bring like punted. I remember you hit Matt Comer so hard. And I said, you that guy hard. And this is practice.
I'm hitting everybody hard, man. Yeah, that's why, because I took one play off and got my damn helmet knocked off, and then never again.
It just got in your psyche.
I love telling the story.
Well, I remember the feeling like that. No, I don't want that to happen again. That ain't going to happen again.
I know that I love telling the story because Michael and me, we talk all the time outside of here. We do fantasy football. We always talk ball all the time, no matter if it's football or basketball or whatever's going on in sports, UFC fights. But realistically, like, I just love telling that story because, I mean, here I was like, oh man, surely I can take this guy. I mean, I've gone up against Chris Ernst and Wayne Hartman and Roy Nico and it's just like, what the hell just hit me? Like, I mean, and it's practice. We talk about practice, just to quote, but he brought it every time. And realistically, that's a tribute to you either get hurt or you don't get hurt. Simple as that. Because if you take a play off, I've seen guys' careers like that. done.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, by not going 100%, whether it's practice or real game scrimmage, like TJ mentioned last week when you knocked out the cat from Morristown West or what have you.
Let me tell you about
it was
TJ.
Morristown West, wasn't it? Or it was Jeff County?
It was Heritage. I think it was Jeff County, Heritage.
Yeah.
I think it was Jeff County, the little running back that they had.
Yeah.
TJ was the worst. I love TJ to death. Every time I'd make a tackle, he'd go over there, run over there, pick him up. I'm like, TJ, what are you doing, dude? I'm knocking him down for a reason. Just leave him alone. You don't have to hit him that hard. I'm like, dude, come on.
Well, and you want to know the best part about it too is, I loved, like, obviously we did the drills against each other and all that and so forth, but I loved watching you play when I was on the sidelines because I knew that you were the one that set the defense up. You were always where you needed to be. And if you can talk about how different it was from your junior year to your senior year, because you had a hell of a defensive line in front of you your junior year.
Oh,
No
yeah.
disrespect,
Yeah.
but realistically, we talked about it. After Troy Smith, there wasn't the depth there that was there the year before with how many guys you could rotate in.
Yeah.
So can you talk about that?
It went from Troy Smith, the big old monster who's just chewing up blocks, didn't have to worry about it, to Doug Gwynn. I love Doug to death, but he's not a defensive tackle.
No.
So, I mean, it went from me having time to actually read and react and then not having to fight through a block to where I've got to fight through a block, then figure out what's going on, then fight probably another block to make a tackle. So, yeah, it was definitely a change when Troy went down for sure.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, and like Two Parrot brings it up, and I mean, just the sick amount of talent, with you and Britton Leach and Sadat and Jimbo, that group, William Ergen. I mean, let me ask you this: how were those Oklahoma drills that year? Because I wasn't yet on the field with you guys, but I mean, that must have made you guys better just to knock the crap out of one another.
Oh, I'm telling you, me going against Britton, Jimbo. When I got to the games and you throw something like a little fullback at me, I'm just gonna laugh at it. Like, really? Like, come on. Because I mean those and Coach Rayleigh's practices, man. I think every single practice we hit, it didn't matter. We'd be in shoulder pads, we're still hitting. It didn't matter, and I liked it, So
you know what? That's what bothered me about that year that you guys lost to Bearden. But then remember, I told you about the ineligible player, and they had to end up forfeiting that game.
yeah.
It became a win for West. But what bothers me is that I went through those Bearden practices in the spring and so forth, and we hit a little bit, but I always felt we weren't as physical as like the practices Rayleigh put us through. You know what I mean? And
Oh
so
yeah.
forth. Like,
Oh yeah.
no disrespect to Paul Maynard, who was a coach there at Bearden for a long time and even over at CAK. But realistically, I would take Gary Rayleigh as a linebacker coach over Paul Maynard any day in terms of how they the physicality to prepare you of what a linebacker's job is supposed to do, whether in pass coverage or run, and to read the quarterback of what he does. I mean, the guy was really smart and doesn't get props, as he should have, Coach Rayleigh. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, Coach Rayleigh, he was like we've talked about, he was the reason that I stayed at West, honestly. I mean, he's just the best coach I've ever had, really. I mean, as far as teaching me everything, the ins and outs of the defense, and he expected you to bring it every single play too. And if you didn't, you'd probably get the dip spit on you, the forearm, or.
So let me ask you this, Mike. Okay, because we're going to focus on the junior year. What was the starting linebackers, and where were you? Because a lot of people didn't realize that back then we played a 4-3. So there was a Will, there was a Sam, and there was a Mike. So Mike being middle linebacker, Sam being strong side where the tight end lines up, weak side being where the tight end doesn't line up, and so forth. Where were you, and who were the guys next to you, and how often was the rotation done? Just curious.
I was usually on the back side because you had Jimbo on the strong side, you had Britton in the middle, and I was usually always playing the back side. And then I want to think it was Tom Carmichael. He came in for us, and then Eddie Ray. I don't know if you guys remember him. He played a
Dude, I
little bit too.
remember Eddie Ray, and God rest his
Remember Eddie
soul, his
Ray?
brother Chris. Yeah, so
Yeah, and then William Ergen, of course.
Mhm.
And yeah, we would. I mean, that was pretty much. It was me, Britton, and Jim were the starting three, and then they would just sub out just whenever.
what a scary lineup, dude! Oh my God! I mean, and
Oh yeah,
it's
it
a
was.
damn shame. Game films from that year aren't, they're nowhere. I mean, I guess the closest thing would be the Fulton game that's been uploaded, the
Yeah, the
99.
Fulton games, because you've got the 99, you've got the 98, the 99, and the 2000 Fulton game is actually on YouTube.
Yeah,
Oh,
the whole game. He told me that.
Yeah.
He told me that. You can watch all 3 games.
Yeah, the full
we,
game. You can watch the whole games. It's
we-
grainy as can be,
yeah. We need to find
but you can see them.
find an inside perspective guy. We need to find him.
Yeah, Jerome Taylor, the inside
Oh
perspective.
yeah.
Yeah.
He has all the footage. Jerome, what's his name?
Yeah, Jerome Taylor. Yep, the
We
inside.
gotta find him. We have
Yeah.
to find him.
Yeah, because I mean, I would
Yeah, I
say
gotta
that he
say
was
Fulton.
in his. I mean, I would say he was in his like late 20s, early 30s in '99. So if he's still with us, go 25 years. I mean, so and hopefully maybe he converted that stuff to DVD or jump drives, whatever they're doing nowadays or whatever.
Man,
So
he's got classic footage.
he has to. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I gotta say Fulton. If you ever get bored, get on there and look at Fulton. There's games. I was showing James. There's games back there from 1984.
Yes.
That's on. Fulton has uploaded like everything on YouTube. I mean, they've done a great job. I wish West would have done that, but
You know what I think that's a tribute to that school, by the way, is I think that's so awesome that they're one of the few schools that has a multimedia department. I want to give a shout out to my boy, Jarvis, because Jarvis went to West, but he took a bus that would pick him up for 4th period and take him to Fulton High School because they didn't offer broadcasting there at West High School. So he was able to take a small bus came to pick him up and take him to Fulton High School for his 4th period. And then it would take him back to West. So when he could go home or whatever, because West didn't offer the class. And there you learned how to do camera. They had their own news station, like there for the school. They did the radio that broadcast the game still to this day. I mean, they broadcasted everything there. And a lot of the people that went to Fulton ended up being the engineers and all the people behind the scenes at Channel 10 for so many years. And I was friends with those people when I worked at Channel 10 until they got absolutely screwed and they went through one hub in Tallahassee, which was a disaster. And all those people that had put years in there from the 70s as kids walking into Channel 10, thanks for your time and service. We don't need you anymore. We've condensed it to one news broadcast station. So that's a true story about Fulton High School, that they take a lot of pride not only in their sports, but also their multimedia and what they offer and so forth. And that's why they have that stuff preserved. West didn't have that then. I don't even think West has that now, which they should. You know, I mean, we just got our own radio station because of Russell Bivin and his kids' involvement with the school and everything. And thank goodness for Russell and so forth for the Jack FM. So, yeah. But, yeah. Tuber, what do you got for him?
Yeah, man. So, quick question. Do you think the defensive line that you play with Wilson or Rodgers, like which one was like the better defensive line for you?
I would say probably Wilson, just because they had more depth, they had more size. Rodgers was trying to get. You guys might not know this, but my senior year, the very first game that I played, senior year against Bearden, I was a defensive end. I wasn't a linebacker. Yeah,
I don't remember
the first
that.
game.
Holy
Yeah,
crap.
no,
I don't even remember that.
many people don't remember that because they put me at defensive end, and then Coach Rayleigh was like, no. I mean, I still had like 9, 10 tackles or whatever, but yeah. So then I moved back to linebacker.
Did they make that adjustment mid-game? Because I remember Ernst was running right up the middle on on West. I just remember Ernst was having a great game.
See, I did the first half. The first half I played defensive end, and then at a halftime, I don't really know what happened, but I think there was some adult conversations happening with Rayleigh and Rogers, and then after that, I was back at middle linebacker, so it worked out. But yeah, no,
Yeah,
I started the first half at defensive end.
Well, that explains like so much right there, because realistically, I mean, it sucked right away that our offense, didn't connect on that play. And then we get the punt block with Shea Ramsey. I mean, a lot of people don't know that Sam Holt was supposed to be our punter, and he was a linebacker too. And he got hurt I mean, I don't even know how this happened. And I know Channing didn't mean to do it and so forth. And he even cried about it afterwards and so forth. But Channing went for a block on a punt.
Yeah,
and
I remember
Channing's
that.
a
In
big
practice.
dude. And, Sam went right down, grabbing his knee. You knew it was bad. Like, you knew
Oh, yeah.
it was bad. And it's like, we're just supposed to be simulating this. We're not supposed to be going. I mean, I get it, but you could throw a ball in the air and see if somebody can, like block it.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. So, but that changed so much, and like Rogers was going through the hallways looking for anybody, and they get Shea Ramsey out there because Shea Ramsey's dad was that Jets kicker or whatever. And so they thought that, and Shea wasn't bad, but you're lining him up against Bearden, who's preseason #2 in the KFL, and Chris Ernst and all that. Of course, Ernst is going to block it. He's going to bust right through there and block it. And then they get great short field position, score right off the bat. You're already down in the hole 7-0 when you could have connected with the pass if Wallace gets it to Michael Smith, the little gimmicky play that Terry Maples brought up. And we're up 7-0 because I'm telling you, Chris Steele and oh God, I forget his name. Torek Turner. Torek Turner were not in position. They looked around. They even yelled at each other like, dude, how did you miss him? Like, it would have been walking. Michael Smith would have walked into the end zone. I'm being dead serious right now.
Wow.
So, yeah. But I didn't even realize that you were at defensive end, Michael. I just assumed you were middle linebacker, getting the defense lined up. And
Nope.
I guess they put Ergen at middle linebacker, didn't they, or something? Or
the Ergen was that. I think it was Ergen at middle linebacker, and they had me at defensive end. I don't know why that they wanted to try that. I mean, I never had size on my side at all. So at defensive end, I was quicker than the tackle that's trying to block me, sure. But, I could be out. If I one wrong step, I'm out of position at defensive end. But yeah, it wasn't the best first half, that's for sure.
Wow. I'm really sorry to hear that, because I would have loved a do-over in that game. Obviously, for not only that first pass that was missed, but also the fact that if you had been at middle linebacker playing, maybe you contain Ernst. I mean, hell, you guys contained him the year before when they were running that wing T. I mean, it was them, it was him, it was Nico, it was Hartman taking handoffs, and you guys stymied them. I mean, literally, people forget that the final score of that game was 14-10 and so forth, but it got reversed because of the ineligible player, Bill Butler. But this game, obviously we had a chance going into that fourth quarter. It was, 21-11 or something like that. And then, the wheels just fell off in that fourth quarter, and 30-11 looked a lot different than, say, 21-11 or 21-18 or something. And it was just a very missed opportunity. And it was our 50th anniversary. And I just remember them stomping on our emblem, that, and all that. It pissed me off. It really did, honestly, to lose to them like that and not give you guys that bragging rights that y'all deserved and so forth to win that rivalry game. So.
Yeah, man. So I want to ask you, what's like the best team you say you played on while you was in school? Like, what was that team that you say, what were you missing that could have got you further, or like what did you have that got you to be the best team? It's kind of like a 2-part question.
I would say probably the best team was my junior year. I mean, we had that was a good team. It really was. I just wish that if we had a little bit more offense, I think we'd have been. But then we ran into Cleveland in the playoffs, and dude, I don't know. I don't remember the running back that they had, but I remember the first or second play. It was a lead. The fullback come up. I hit the fullback. He grabbed a hold of me and like tackled me down. It was a hole, clear hole, but that doesn't matter. This running back hurdled my ass, going for 60 yards. Touch. I'm like, well, that's not good.
Mm.
But
They
yeah,
always seem to have that type of running back then. Like they always had a dude that could run the ball at Cleveland back
oh
then. Like
yeah,
they really did. Even up
yeah. But
until
I think
Devontae
that junior
Barber
year,
in,
man.
2004, or 2003. So yeah, but
Mhm.
But
yeah.
yeah, that junior year, I think we had a good. The senior year was a good team, but I mean, you had so many injuries. I mean, you had TJ getting hurt, me getting hurt, Troy getting hurt. I mean, just it seemed like it was a rotate. Jason Day, I think he missed a few games with a bad ankle. I mean, it just so many people, just injuries. It was crazy. I don't think I've ever played on a team where so many people got hurt.
I was going to ask you this about that '99 team because it was a special group. Like I said, your record says I think 6-5 or what have you
Yeah,
on it, but
yeah.
you were pretty much in every game. I mean, you guys gave Maryville everything they really wanted in that game in '99 and so
Oh
forth.
yeah.
I guess my question to you is this, and it's just like that. Do you think you guys would have been better or worse if Wilson had stayed one more year with you guys and you didn't have Coach Rogers that first year? I'm just curious.
See, that's a good question because I really don't know. I mean, I don't really blame Rogers for, a lot of things. I mean, but yeah, Wilson, he was a heck of a coach. I'm not sure how that went south so bad and he got, he left or whatever. But yeah, I think Rogers come in, he tried to bring a lot of new things and a lot of new things just wasn't working. So I don't know, because like Troy or I think it was Troy or maybe it was TJ, he was saying that you had a lot of the defensive coaches were holdover from the old staff. Then you bring in these new guys from the offense. I think that it just didn't mesh well.
Mhm.
So yeah, I do think if Wilson was there, probably '99, I think it would have been a little better year. Just
Yeah,
just for the fact is that there wasn't a change. You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I just look at it like just the amount of talent that you had. I mean, you mentioned the offensive side of the ball, and when you have a backfield with Alton Thompson and Tommy Whitten, who just
Oh
came in
yeah,
as a freshman,
yeah,
I mean, and that's the other thing too. A lot of people don't realize this. Tommy didn't play running back in the Bearden game. It was the second game against Anderson County. Paul
yeah.
Johnson Jr. was running the ball first reps in that Bearden game, and that's why the offense really couldn't get going. Honestly, if
Oh yeah.
Tommy's running the ball, I think West beats Bearden straight up, even without the Bill Butler ineligible player victory thing. So
Mhm.
that's just my opinion. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's like they couldn't get on the same page with the offense for some reason. I don't know. I maybe try to install something too quick or something. I'm not sure. Like I say, I didn't really worry about the offense much. I just wanted to hit people.
hey, question. I always wondered this. How in the world did you get the number 60?
Well, it's funny that you ask because I tell you this big story about but honestly, it came in because when I first come to West freshman year, I was number 42
Yeah,
okay.
because I played linebacker. Actually, when I came in as a freshman, I was a cornerback. Probably didn't know that either.
Oh
I
wow.
did not know that.
Nope.
I was a cornerback, so I was out there just knocking heads. And then Coach Carruthers come up. He said, "You're in the wrong position." I'm like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "I played corner because I played at Rural. One of the only three white kids on the team, and I was a starting corner at Rural. So,
You was down with
you
the
know,
folks, Mike.
oh yeah, Troy. Well, I mean, I had Jeff Mitchell, Troy, Alton, DeMarcus, Travis Dixon. I mean, you name it, dude. If that team could have stayed together, they would nobody in Knoxville touch that team.
And can I tell you this? That's West Rebels now, by the way. That would you all would have been what West Rebels is now. To be
Oh, 100%, man. But
Yeah.
no, I came in at 42, and then for some reason they wanted to put me at like a pulling guard. They thought that would be just the greatest thing, that they could have somebody that could hit and was as fast as the running back. So they're going to put me at pulling guard. I'm like, sure, I don't care. And then Coach Mays, what number do you want? I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Pick me one. And that's how I got number 60.
So it was Mays.
He said,
The legend of Coach Mays strikes again. I mean, all the stories.
yeah.
that
All the
we've
stories
heard-
lead
oh
to
my
Coach Mays.
Yeah, no, he
All
held
the
it up and
stories.
he said, you look like a 60 to me. And I'm like, yep, sounds good to me. And that's how I got number 60.
Does anybody still talk to him? Because I think he's got to come on this show. I bet he
Oh,
could
man, I
tell
love
some
Coach
stories.
Mays.
I
mean,
gotta try to
you talk
call
about After Dark Rated X with some of his language, but I'm just saying, like,
Coach
Yeah,
Mays.
I love Coach Mays. But yeah, that's how it came for me to be number 60. Coach Mays said, here, you look like a 60. I'm like, what does that even mean? But okay.
you look like a 60, so shoot.
So
But yeah.
So to stay on that with Coach Mays, can you give me another funny Coach Mays story?
Coach Mays, dude. Y'all probably don't remember. Yeah, you don't remember Coach C, Coach Cinnamon.
No,
Y'all remember him?
he had left. He left.
No, he
After
didn't leave, dude. He passed away like mid-season, like in the summer. Dude, those two, when they got together, man, that was the funniest thing. They would always bicker like two old ladies, dude, but it was the funniest thing. Coach Mays would come up with like these 5 or 6 words that have no sense together to go together and call you. I mean, he just makes stuff up. And you're like, Coach Mays, what are you talking about?
So let me ask you this: was I your freshman year or sophomore year that passed away that summer? Just curious.
That was my freshman year.
Okay, so that was before my time, even.
That
So
was heading into my sophomore year, the summer of my sophomore year.
okay.
Yeah, he passed away. And he was actually, I think he was the offensive line and defensive line coach. But that dude, he was wild. He was crazy. But him and Coach Mays, man, those two would crack you up.
Coach Mays.
But yeah, I
This is
love
new
Coach
to me,
Mays,
this
man.
Coach Cinnamon. I mean, I've not. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, if you get into the old timer zone, because he was there for a long time. Yeah, ask him about Coach Cinnamon stories if you want to hear some stories.
Wow. Wow. So, well, let me ask you this, Michael. So, junior year, I remember spring ball, and obviously, but besides knocking the crap out of me, one of my favorite stories is Rayleigh, like seeing everybody go through the drill, and it's like pitiful, just everybody.
yeah.
And he goes, you know what? This just sums it up. My worst linebacker last year, Lynn here, is my best one this year, or what have you.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
But the thing was I don't know if that was just to motivate you a little bit or what, and for you not to get a big head, but it was true. I mean, you don't just replace Jimbo and Britton and Sadat and guys like that, or Tom or Eddie Ray. I mean, those guys are not there anymore, so yeah.
Yeah, Coach Rayleigh, some of the things he said, I don't know if it was to break you down or to motivate you. I didn't know which one it was, but
Well,
he
he trusted you though, because you were the captain of the defense. I mean, you were out there always getting people set up, and you were Ryan Scott before Ryan Scott became. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, oh yeah.
yeah. How many
We'd
tackles
always
did
come up.
you have that senior year, by the way? Because you kept up with it.
I only played 6 games my senior year because I missed 2 before the Halls game. I think I was averaging like right at 12 or 14 a game. I mean, it was. I'll tell you, I only played 6 games, and I still led the team in tackles at the banquet. So that
He
should
did.
tell you something.
He did. Because he missed the last 2.5. I mean, he did, like with the Halls game. We're going to talk about that in a second and so forth. Talk to me about the Fulton game, by the way, that senior year, that first play, the center. You can watch it on YouTube,
Yeah.
like you mentioned. Tell me that story.
Well, see, I don't know why, but for the 2 years Rogers was there, we always did a punt, pass, and kick league. It's basically flag football at Webb High School.
Mm-hmm.
Why they had me do that, I don't know, because I would get kicked out of every single game that I played in. Because people cheat when they play flag football, they fold the flags up. So if I grab the flag and it don't come off, you're going to the ground, then I get kicked out of the game. But anyway, so we're playing Fulton. And this center, I'm middle linebacker. I'm sitting there. We're just in shorts, basically. Dude, he is talking so much stuff. Like, dude, you are so small. Whenever we play you, I'm going to pancake you every play. And I just said, okay. I wasn't big on talking smack, especially in shorts, because, what am I going to do, And I just kept saying, okay, we'll see. Very first snap in the Fulton game, dude, I beeline straight to him because he looked at me, and you can see if you watch the YouTube video on the video when we're shaking hands, he's out there, and I just smiled at him. I shook his hand. First play of the game, dude, I just beeline to him, and I just pancaked his ass.
Drew Perry, if you watch it, just focus on the center. He goes down like a pancake. It's how offensive lineman pancakes supposed to be.
I remember this. No, I've seen
And dude, and I kid you not, that was probably the best game, the cleanest game that I played because he never even stepped my way the rest of the game. It was great. But yeah, he didn't have nothing to say after that.
Michael, how did that make you feel though? Because that effort of that defense, that game, we ruined their homecoming.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people forget Dan Hall was supposed to really be a big time part of our team, and then mid summer his I guess his dad moved or something, and so then he was on for Fulton. So it was nice to get revenge on him, because he was on Fulton's team and everything. But
a lot of the players on that team I actually played Little League with. The running back Jeffrey Mitchell, I played Little League with him all the way up. Andropoulos Gillespie, he was on that team. I played Little League with him too. So a lot of those people that I knew, I played Little League with. I was friends with them. So yeah, to beat them, that was sweet there.
Yeah, I just remember Coach Witt. There was a funny story there. He's emptying the Kool-Aid or the Powerade big jugs that we used to get the drinks from or whatever like that. He said, "Hope you had a nice homecoming," and he's dumping it right on their field or whatever. Like it was so great, and like they were shocked. Like they thought it was going to be a blowout, and we beat them. West beat Fulton that game. Honestly,
yeah, that was a good game because they had a good team too. They had Jeff Mitchell running back. They had Big Fred Smith. Y'all remember him?
Yeah,
I could not.
Yeah, he
beat them, man. That was
and what's worse. And then that was huge momentum because it wasn't a district game, but Fulton was a good team, like Michael said, but it was an out of region game, kind of a rivalry game, and so forth like that. And a win like that mid-season should propel you to go on a playoff run. There's not many teams tougher than them other than Central and Maryville, realistically, in our district. We should finish third at this point. And the Clinton game the following week just is still the biggest head scratcher to be up 20-0 and then lose 21-20. That just sucked.
Well, see, I didn't play in the Clinton game because actually the Fulton game, I played the whole game and I tore a muscle in my back to my shoulder blade. So I missed the next 2 games. I missed those 2 games.
So you missed the Clinton and the Maryville game, it looks like, based on.
Yeah, Clinton and Maryville, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was Clinton and Maryville. Or maybe it's just the Clinton game. I can't remember. But I know I missed the Clinton game for sure.
Yeah.
And I remember that. That was just horrible.
So whether you missed those 2 games or you played in the Maryville game, now we've got Halls. Okay. Now TJ talked about how you know, he had all those issues with the knee. You know, he really did. And anybody that's watching right now, please hit the chat box. Honestly, please hit the chat
hit the
box.
chat
Yeah,
box.
you know, if you got a question for Michael or anything, don't be shy, please, because I saw some people on and you know, shout out to them. But if anybody wants to ask a question, go for it. But you know, he talked about that, and I had to think back on it, and he's right. Now the thing is that I have my foot in a boot because I broke my ankle against Clinton in the JV game. So you talk, I was done for the year. I'm in a boot and so forth. But I remember that slick surface that we went to. It was like their baseball locker room or in the gym or something like.
Yeah, it was a
But they
little.
set us there.
I don't know what it was. It was terrible, but that
Yeah,
little
I don't know what it was
outbuilding right there,
either.
dude.
But we had to walk. Like it wasn't even close to the stadium. We had to walk
No.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It
yeah.
was almost like in the gym, like back behind everything. It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like almost like the place where if you had PE at that school, that's where you changed out of. That's where they stuck us.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So you talk about like that game of it was close, you know, and then tell us everything that was going on from what you can remember from your recollection of the events of that game.
See, against Halls, I always enjoyed playing Halls because they always ran that kind of wing T offense. So that was always a good game for me. My best games were against Halls. That's why it's crazy that that was my last game. But, you know, even sophomore year when we were out there, I had, you know, a couple tip pass and a bunch of tackles. I mean, the game was going good. I want to say it was like 13-6 when I got hurt. I think it was. It was close. It was real close. But yeah, I remember the quarterback, he was coming out like a little rollout pass, and I shot in to get the sack. The second I went in for the sack, my foot kind of planted, and that the quarterback, he was a big guy. I don't remember. I'd say he was at least 210, 220 at least. So when I grabbed him and wrapped up, my foot kind of got stuck. You know how they got like the little sprinkler systems in the field? That's
Mm-hmm.
what my cleat actually got stuck in that. So basically, me and him, I was twisting him down to come up to make the tackle. Me and him twisted, my foot stayed in place. So basically, my ankle just twisted off my body. Yeah, so it was pretty bad. And then so I'm sitting there, here I go, and I'm like, oh hell, I'm okay, I'm fine. Stand up, dude. I take one step, my ankle literally is sideways. I'm like, nah, I guess I better sit down. I'm done, you know. So I'm sitting down on the field. Here comes the trainer. At that time, it wasn't Keith. It was some girl. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was like the substitute trainer or something. I don't know
Yeah,
who it
Keith
was.
wasn't there for that game for whatever reason, so it was
Yeah,
a
I don't
work
know
one.
why Keith wasn't there, but this girl come out to me. She said, "Oh, don't worry. Oh, don't worry. It's just a sprain. We'll get it taped up. You'll be good for the second half." I literally picked my leg up. You know, I had blood on my sock because the bone was coming out of my leg. So I picked my leg up. My ankle just kind of dangles. And I'm like, I don't think I'm coming back from this. She left, dude. She left me out on the field. So I'm just sitting there. Luckily, the Halls trainers come out and they put an air cast on me, got me the cart and everything else. So yeah, so she just left me. Like she turned pale white and just left me. Yeah, it was crazy.
And you told me something that William Ergen's father was already on the phone with the hospital and whatever.
Yeah, William Ergen's father. Yeah, because my dad, they was like, where do you want to take him to? My dad was like, well, you know, UT or Children's. Just what do you think's best? And then William Ergen's dad was like, take him to St. Mary's. Give me about 2 minutes. He called everybody, and literally, dude. I mean, the ambulance ride. We went straight down Broadway. I got there. By the time that I was out there, they already had the room set up. They already had a guy in there to put me in a cast. Everything. I mean, William Ergen's dad really made everything just seamless. I mean, he really did. Called ahead and took care of everything. And then next day went to KLC and had emergency surgery. So to put it back together, now I've got 2 plates and 9 screws holding my ankle together.
Mm, wow, that's
You know,
wild.
we've asked other guys that have been on here, Michael, what was your offer list like and what were your plans had you not gotten hurt like that?
See, my recruiting was actually starting to heat up pretty good. I was talking to MTSU, I was talking to ETSU, a couple schools out of Kentucky, and about everyone that I've talked to recruiter wise, they were want to put me at safety, which I thought would have been just so fun coming, free safety. And I mean, I had a couple of them come to practice. I had a couple of them phone calls, and then the only time I had one in-home visit, and I was literally like 3 days out of surgery. He come up and like, "Can you play football anymore?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think so." And then that was it. It's all over.
And the
So
crazy
yeah.
part is, you talk about timing. Timing is everything. You
Oh,
play that
100%.
game now on that field of artificial turf, your foot don't get stuck in no sprinkler thing, or you know what I mean? Your cleat don't get
Oh
stuck.
no, yeah. No, the cleat don't get stuck. I mean, if anything, I've got a little bit of a, twisted ankle at the worst. Yeah.
So quick question. The equipment that we played with back then compared to now, like were we getting the old UT equipment back in the day?
I think we were, man, because those pads, man. Yeah, those pads were just massive. They were so big. I mean, big and bulky. I mean, I probably could have ran a little faster, without them pads. But yeah,
That's
I mean, it was.
huge. And
Oh
then
yeah, yeah. Well,
the
yeah.
that visor in the back or the neck
Oh
roll,
yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah. The
Latimer
big neck
thing.
rows. Yeah, yeah,
those things were
yeah. If you get a chance, look at the Fulton '98 film and look how big those pads were, man. It will crack you up. It's so funny.
Maybe
those
it was like an intimidation thing that you were wanting to. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't know. But it slowed you down. I mean, it was heavy. It was
It
bulky.
slowed you down, and like you couldn't even pick your head up all the way, man, because you had that big old neck roll in there.
Mhm. Yeah.
mm,
Well, and then let me ask you this. So you did partake in senior festivities. You were on crutches, though, like you
I
said.
did. I did.
Central, and of course, a couple of guys were on Central, probably that you played Pee Wee with. That must have sucked not
Oh
being
yeah.
able to play against those guys.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, it was pretty bad. I mean, had to crutch out from the old field house to about midfield. I'm like, yeah, it just wasn't ideal at all. I mean, yeah, I've got a picture or two. I even told my mom, like, I don't want any pictures from the senior day. I don't want to even remember it, honestly. You know.
mm.
But yeah, we did all walked on the field and did all that. But yeah, I knew a lot of people, a lot of the people from Central too. But yeah, they all come up talk to me before the game and all that. But yeah, once I broke my leg, I was done.
Yeah. And to go back to it, we talked about it with TJ. The stadium was silent, and to see you down on the ground, it was pretty bad, like what TJ said. And I thought you were, indestructible, like the way with my relationship with you and what I saw in practice. And it's like, damn, like he's down. Like he's not getting up. And it's just like one of those things where you talk about the ball being the air let out of it and so forth. I mean, you see your senior captain, leading tackler down on the ground. It's like you don't replace you. You don't replace a 3-year starter just like that. You don't. I mean, I think what Brandon Bell probably maybe came in for you or something like that. I mean,
I don't
some
know if it was Brandon Bell or
Isaac Wilson or somebody
maybe
sophomore.
Eric. I think it was Eric Justice, wasn't
Maybe
it?
it's Eric Justice, probably. So yeah, I mean, and
Yeah,
we were the walking wounded. I mean, I was in a boot with a broken ankle at that point, so I'm not getting in there. I mean, we had a ton of
oh
injuries.
yeah, yeah. That senior year, everybody was just hurt. I mean, it seemed like it was just crazy.
We couldn't catch a break. I mean, like if you think about this West team that just won it this year, they had their injuries during the season, but man, did they get healthy at the most perfect time to go on that run.
Oh yeah.
All about timing, man. I mean, they could have been the reverse where they were all healthy at the beginning and then they didn't have nothing left. But that's why they won back-to-back, because you had some guys out for the first Alcoa game and that first Powell game. But, man, look at the difference of the two Powell games when you were at full strength.
Oh, yeah.
Ford, Mr. MVP of the state championship, didn't even play in that first Powell game. Second game, he's already there making plays. First play of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So when you don't have your
Well, I mean, anytime you win, anytime you go undefeated for two back-to-back, I mean, you got to have a little bit of luck, and you got to have a little bit of lucky breaks. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean,
so I wanted to ask you this: do you still follow West a lot since you got done playing? Like, you still keep up with them?
well, I'll tell you, I do now, but there for a while I didn't. I mean, like the year after I broke my leg, I don't think I went to a single game. I didn't want to watch any of it. I just,
You were done.
I was done. And then I actually moved to Louisville, Kentucky for a little bit. And then once I came back, now I've been, me and James over here, we talk about at least once a week at least, but yeah, I've kept up with it a lot more recently. But yeah, there for a while, man, I was done. I didn't want to go to any games. I didn't want to watch any games. I was just done.
And then I got to ask you this too. Like, how does it feel that you are the known guy as one of the best hitters that have come through West? Like, there's kids that talk about you now that are like Michael Lynn, like it's like a storied name now to younger kids.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of unbelievable, really. I mean, because I mean, look behind James' head. Look how little that dude is. And I'm telling you, my bench 225. That's low. That's a lie. I mean, look at the little arms. I mean, what is he going to do?
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get it. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it. Let me see if I can get it. Where is it?
But like it's just crazy. You've been known throughout time as like one of the known guys has been known to be one of the best hitters to come through West High School. Like, still, that's 23 plus.
It's been a while. Plus. Yeah, it's been a while.
Can I also say this?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, it is.
I'll throw this out there. A teammate that no one has said anything bad about. Like, I mean, the hitting is awesome. That you want that reputation. But like, there's not been one bad thing said about you as the teammate. Like, you were the prototypical teammate. The thing is, you came to practice every day. You had the same look, if I can say that. Like, basically, we didn't know if you were happy, if you were pissed off. You had the same look on your face. And there's something about that, that's character, man. That's like, I mean, you just brought it every day. And until they stopped you, you were unstoppable, man. And I would have loved to have seen your career continue at the next level. You would have been like Sean Taylor at the safety level, just knocking people out.
Oh, yeah, man. I probably wouldn't have been able to play in today's football, though, because today's football is a little bit soft now. You're not allowed to tackle, really. So I don't know if I'd have been able to play.
They probably would have ejected you in the first quarter or whatever for hurting
like
the quarterback.
The flag football games down there, it's
you definitely
it is kind of funny.
Out for targeting.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely, 100%, man. Targeting, that it ain't targeting, man. It's aiming, is what I would say.
I have to ask this. I just have to ask this. Any funny camp stories from your senior year? Because you know that was a great camp. That one, my junior year, your senior. Any great stories from that?
Man, there's some, but like I say, man, some of those were you might have to testify in court. You probably don't want to say that on
Hey, it is after dark. I mean, come on now. So shoot. Yeah, you ain't a doctor.
Man.
You ain't a mayor.
Yeah, no, man. Football camp, dude. That was just the greatest time. I mean, even sophomore year, junior year, and then even senior year, man. Even with Coach Rogers, I mean, it was just the times that we had down there at the pond. You remember the big pond down there?
Pond.
Yeah, I mean, doing 2 a days, sometimes 3 a days, and then doing the dawn patrol. Yeah, I've never had to do that, so I don't know
No,
what
this guy
that's
showed up
about.
to wait. He showed up every day in the summer, man. He did. He didn't cut corners.
I went the dog patrol. So I was playing super midgets with Central, and then I came to West. So I was the only dude from another school that was starting on that freshman side, because those were all like West guys. They played super midget West and everything. I played with Central with Buddy Purnell and those guys, and then
Oh yeah, I know Buddy Purnell.
yeah. So, and I just remember you were one of the first dudes I met in the weight room with Jason Day, because I would go to practice with Jason. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, two pair. I know you like to do the who busted your ass at the beginning and so forth. I'd like to do one, and I hate it because I've been thinking about it. We've had so many great guests on, and I'm sure we'll get them on, and I'd love to do a rapid fire with them. I'm going to say a name, Michael, and if you don't mind, tell me the first word or whatever comes to mind, teammates wise, okay, and so forth. All right, if you're willing to play a little bit. So, TJ Blakely. Did I lose you? I wonder if I lost you. Two Bear, you're there, right?
Yeah.
I might have lost Michael. I don't know if his computer died. Oh,
Um,
shoot. It was something that I said. So, well, while he's gone, I mean, there's the picture behind me, man. There's the picture behind him. I think we got him back.
Yeah, I
there
don't
we
know.
go.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It just
Yeah,
went blank.
Gotcha. Could you hear me though of what I asked and so forth? Okay, all right. Let me start over. So I'd like to do something where I do rapid questions or rapid names about teammates, and I would just love for you just to say the first word or name that comes to mind and so forth like that.
Okay.
If you don't mind, if you're willing to play and so forth.
Oh yeah,
okay?
for sure.
All right, I'm gonna start it off. TJ Blakely.
Just big. I mean, that's the first thing you see of TJ. Just big. His this initial size.
Colin Carmichael.
Another one. It's. Let me tell you. So I know you're saying rapid fire, but it's funny because the little Arby's magazines that we used to get.
Yes.
Well, the picture is me and Colin. You talk about making me look tiny. I'm standing next to Colin, and Colin was like a sophomore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say.
Oh shoot, I may have lost him again. Maybe.
no, look like it might.
Yeah, might be the spotty internet. Maybe. Let me see here real quick.
Yeah, it might have.
I'll bring him back on if he.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. I think I got him.
It's almost getting there.
It's getting there.
Close.
Yeah. While we're waiting for him to come back on, it's let me see here. Yeah, he's texting me right now, so yeah, keep trying. So here we go. Wait a minute. There he is.
Oh yeah.
There he is.
It keeps kicking me out for some reason.
I don't know what's going on with it. All right, so you mentioned Colin. Jimbo Rayleigh.
Hard. I mean, going against him, I'm telling you that made me better. Going against him every day made me better. It really did.
Gary Rayleigh.
Oh, the best coach. I mean, I learned so much from him. I mean, it's unbelievable how much I learned from him.
Wayne Mays.
He can make you smile and laugh on your worst day. He can cuss you out afterwards.
Mm.
I like that.
I got one for him.
Go. Yeah.
What about dang, he's on the tip of my tongue right now. Britton Leach. Oh, did we lose Mike?
I hope we didn't. Man, I'm getting mad now. Just the StreamYard's failing me. Two pair, it's failing me.
Oh
I don't know why
man.
it's kicking him off. So
I
shoot.
got a few guys like
Yeah. Just have him. So
you know what I'm saying? Like Britton Leach would be one of those guys
yep.
up there.
Got to ask him about Tim Thomas. So
Yeah, it's part of that senior class.
Yep. So
It's-
I'm gonna see if he'll come back on. Yeah, keep trying. So yeah, keep trying. That's what I just told him. So yeah. I mean, I just love learning about things like the number 60. That was such a great question, because realistically, you don't see a linebacker wearing number 60. And the thing is, we still haven't even gotten to the thing where hold on one second. So let's see here.
And he was just part of some great guys too, man. Like that sophomore and junior class of dudes were just really, really cool dudes when I first got to West. Really good guys.
No, they really were. They welcomed me, and so forth, and really made me feel a part of the team and everything like that, more than anything. So it's just one of those things where, I mean, it was a special group of guys, and I know that the record really doesn't reflect it and so forth, but seriously, those guys, two pair, were incredible. I mean, like they really. That's why I always ask, was it a coaching thing? Was it just bad luck with injuries? It was just that type of a thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I always wonder what really happened because I'm a basketball guy playing football. I'm not a football guy playing basketball. And when I got to West, I could kind of see that there was a little dissension, but I felt like there was a lot of guys that came out during Rogers' tenure that his first year, but I don't think it carried over to like by the time I got to be a senior, because by the time I got to be a senior, it was kind of like Coach Cummings. It kind of got that regime the way he wanted it to get, because it showed by the next year with Larry Williford and Justin Jackson and that group. And I know,
you talk about a guy like Justin Jackson, man. Here he went from, being a receiver, and you talk about the athleticism at that quarterback position that had been missing, since Alton days. I mean, like it really was a step up, and then if you remember, he only had 1 year to shine and so forth. I've got him back. So get ready. Yeah, go ahead, two pair with your, let's see if that works. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Maybe we'll try this again.
Yeah.
Wanted to ask you, Britton Leach.
Oh man, overachiever, man. That dude, he did everything perfect. Like weight room, 100%, everything. I mean, it was.
Man, this StreamYard is really making me mad right now, honestly.
Oh man, good stuff too.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call him. Hold on one second, because I can get it. We can, let me see here real quick.
All right.
Let me see if I can call him. We'll do it old school.
Hello.
Wait, we're going to do this old school. We got you on the phone live and so forth like that. So we're going to do this old
I don't
school.
know what it keeps doing. I mean, I'm connected to the internet and everything.
This has never happened before, and I really am going to let StreamYard know, because this didn't happen with any other guest. And so I'm sure your internet's fine. So, yeah. Two pair was, who was the last one we just asked him? Britton Leach. And you said overachiever. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say probably just the hardest worker on the team. I mean, he took everything this so serious. I mean, he was just, his work ethic was just second to none.
Well, I gotta ask him another one. What about Daniel Stewart?
Oh, Dan, that's another one, man. I mean, you talking about a hitter. Now, Daniel Stewart was a hitter too. I mean, he was an undersized defensive end, but he was another one, man, that come to work every day and just put it in.
What about a couple of guys that are no longer with us, and one of them was in your senior class, Tim Thomas and Sadat Faust?
Oh man, Tim Thomas, man, I love Tim Thomas to death. He was, like Troy said, you know, he was one of those guys that could fit in any surrounding that he was in. He could fit in. It didn't matter who he was with, who he was around. That dude, he would fit in. You know, he was just. And Sadat, I mean, Sadat was another one. He was undersized too to be a linebacker, but I mean, he was so damn quick and fast. I mean, Sadat was a good one too.
That's the other thing too. Like, not only did you guys look the part, like there was speed there. You know, speed before the speed you see now at West. Honestly, you know, I mean.
Also,
yeah, I mean, they were definitely some speed on that team for sure. I mean, especially at linebacker. I mean, Sadat, me, Jimbo. I mean, all pretty quick.
Gotta ask you, Stephen Harmon.
Stephen, yeah, that's another one, man. I mean, heck of a receiver. Yeah, I liked him too. He was a good dude. I mean, and he was a trash talker too. Now he would talk some trash.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, he watches the show. He watches the show.
Oh,
yeah. He watches. What about your Troy Smith?
Oh, that's my brother, man. I mean, me and Troy basically grew up together. I mean, we started playing football together at age 8. And then when Troy tells a story when he said I was little, Troy was never little. He was always one of the bigger boys on the team. But yeah, that's my brother, man. I love Troy to death. I really do.
Alton Thompson.
That's another one. I mean, played Little League with him. And I mean, I'm not just saying this, but I think if he would have stayed with it and played his senior year, I mean, I think he could have done some things at quarterback. I really do. Because, I mean, he had a cannon for an arm.
When you were off the phone, me and Two Pair were talking about when Justin Jackson took over as quarterback for West in 2003. He brought a dynamic that hadn't been there since Alton in terms of not only having a good arm, but also the athleticism that could run and get you a first down if you needed it. You know what I mean? Type of a thing.
So, yeah, see, that's funny because when we played Little League, he was actually a defensive lineman. How crazy is that?
That is crazy.
I heard
number 64.
Wasn't it Troy that said that Alton knocked him out? Like, I think that's who he said. Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was a hitter now, and it was just funny that he played defensive line, and if I'm not mistaken, he played offensive line too. But yeah, he was a hitter. He was a headhunter too. And then it's just funny that when we got to high school, he was probably one of the best quarterbacks that they've had for a while.
Best player you went up against from a rival school?
Oh, that dude from Farragut, that big.
Oh, Sean Sanderson, the Wolverine?
Yes.
Yeah, Sean Sanderson. Yeah.
Everybody said a lot of people said Sean Sanderson.
Let me tell you something, man. That guy, I mean, you know, he looked the part. He was big. He was strong. And he went to Michigan and played. You got to give him props for that, man. I mean, he went to Michigan, and they were fresh off of, you know, with Charles Woodson and all that stuff going on over there, where they were still, you know, they won it this year, but there was a time there where Michigan wasn't so hot, you know, and so forth. But back then, they had some dudes.
He was a monster, man. I mean, you know, they too many people that I didn't like hitting, but he was one of them. But I still went in there and went in full speed.
You know, Michael, it's a shame that I had you even bring it and so forth, and you can't show it on there. But I know we're going to have you on the panel and so forth of talking about great players and so forth for West and teams. Talk about winning that jamboree, fastest offensive lineman at the KFL there on Neyland Stadium before you even played Farragut and Sean Sanders.
Oh yeah, the funny part about this was, like, it says lineman, but they were a lot of tight ends and everything else. So it's a legit award. So I'm just out there running against a bunch of fat people. So
he killed him.
But the best part about it is, do you know who presented me that trophy and who presented me this award?
Was it Philip Fulmer?
No, it was Coach Wilson.
Was it really? I didn't know
Coach
that.
Wilson, man. He handed me the trophy, shook my hand, and gave me a big old hug.
Wow.
It sure was.
That's special. That is special.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely special. That's the I don't even remember the race much about it, but yeah, that's what I remember out of the whole thing was Coach Wilson handing me the trophy, shaking my hand, and giving me a hug.
Tuber, can I tell you this story real quick about that? That's really funny.
Yeah.
Is that literally before we even are getting on the bus to go to what's it called, Neyland Stadium for the Jamboree or what have you. Coach Rogers lines up all the offensive linemen and tight ends, and I'm on that group or whatever, and it's like we need to have somebody compete for our school against the other 11 teams or however many teams were invited. And so why it's so funny is that Lynn won it, and I looked and I go, he ain't an offensive line, but he was, like, technically there's a picture of him in the offensive line team group picture that we took in this little program thing or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so he burned everybody. So literally we picked who was going to be our skill fastest guy and our offensive lineman, like literally before we even got on the bus to Neyland Stadium. So then I'm watching Lynn compete, and Lynn literally flies. I mean,
remember I was at Neyland.
Yeah, he was flying. I mean, I just see his arms pumping, and it's like, yeah, Michael Lynn from West High School, and I was like, yeah, we won something. Like I was like hype. I mean, I couldn't even tell you who our skill player was that ran or what have you like that. But the thing is, they didn't do that when Nathan Cottrell played there. But I would have loved to have seen Nathan race against anybody.
He was 4-3, dude.
4-3. God, him and Seth Marshall, that was such a dangerous. I want to get Nathan Cottrell said he was going to come on the show too. By the way, like that's what I've heard. So, but I know he's busy.
I've been talking, because
he's busy.
I grew up with the guy that coached him in Little League, so I've been trying to say, hey, come on, time to come on.
Yeah, no, he's busy growing his real estate thing. He's a newlywed. Michael, I did want to ask you this and so forth. You mentioned real quick about the whole thing with not really wanting to be involved with football. You didn't go to games and so forth, but talk to us, what happened after you walked across the stage at West, if you don't mind telling me that story, or us, the audience.
Well, I mean, pretty much, I didn't really want to go to college anymore because I couldn't play football. So pretty much, man, I just got my CDLs, become a truck driver, and that's what I'm doing now, man. Just driving trucks for a local company and trying to raise 2 daughters to not be Panthers. I mean, that's not working very well, but I'm trying.
We have got to get them at West to be cheerleaders or something. Good God. Or maybe they could, I don't know, do they play soccer like their mom did or what? So,
the youngest one, Madison, she plays soccer. The oldest one, Jenna, she's in between wanting to be a cheerleader and wanting to dance. So, but she cheered for the school kind of north of us, and I told her, I said, honey, I love you more than anything in this world, but there's no way in the world I'm wearing that orange and black shirt. I love you, but it's just not going to happen.
No, man, I get it. And I'll tell you this, Mike. The thing that I always thought was so awesome is that you and your wife were high school sweethearts. I mean, you've been together forever, and you guys like are the like the it couple that made it from West. You know, so many people, they always say, oh, they're going to be great together and, you know, get married and have cute kids and all that. But you guys actually are living that dream and still stronger than ever, it looks like. So,
oh, yeah, for sure. And it's funny that I always joke with her because I'd always call her, you know, Michael's girlfriend, because that's what everybody knew her from West. You know, she'd always get pissed off with that because he'd tell, oh, yeah, there's Michael's girlfriend. I'm like, you know, sorry, Lindsay.
You know, it's just awesome because I always saw you guys together, and it was like, man, you know, that's they just have it, you know, they just have it, and I know that she supported you and you've supported her, and it's just like that's what a good relationship is, right there, honestly, you know.
Oh,
so,
for sure,
yeah.
for sure, yeah. We've had some good times, that's for sure, and then like this weekend we're going to go down and hop on a cruise ship and be in the Bahamas. I'll celebrate your birthday down there, man. So
please do call in or what have you. So I do have 3 more rapid guys that I wanted to ask you about, just because I'm just curious of your thoughts on them. And Two Pair, if you've got any others, please ask them.
I got one more.
Go. Yeah.
This guy, because he's near and dear to me. Avery Boss Graves.
Dude, that dude, I mean, I think I want to say I was a freshman when I first saw him play. Dude, I didn't know speed till I seen him. I mean, yeah, he was quick.
Damn. Scott Rayleigh.
That's another one, man. I mean, it's funny because me and Jim started out being friends, and then at the end of the day, me and Scott Rayleigh, you know, become better friends. And he actually reached out to me, you know, because of the show with TJ. He actually reached out to me, and I think whenever we get back, because he's got kids doing spring break too, and whenever we get back, we're going to do a lunch and all that. I'm gonna try to get him on your show too.
Oh, please do. I'd love to have Scott Rayleigh on there. So, what about Jason Day, man?
See, that's another one. Jason Day. I played Little League with him, and then he left us to go play Fulton, which, you know, his mistake on that. But yeah, no, I mean, Tammy Day, his mama, you know, I grew up, and she's almost like a second mom to me sometimes. I mean, I was at his house quite a bit, but yeah, Jason Day's another good one.
World-renowned chef. We should have him on there. I bet you he could cook us something good, man. You know, that or something.
Yeah, all the pictures that he posts on Facebook and all that food. You're like, what in the world?
and has the most jerseys I could ever think of in high school.
He did. You're right, man. He had a different. He had them coordinated. He had something every day, and it was like
every day.
He was like Superman. He had a whole closet full of those things.
Real Davis jersey, Marshall Faulk jersey. He had the jerseys.
He did. Frank Shelton.
Good old Frankie. Man, I can't think of him without just thinking of, you know, a big red mushroom shaped welt on his neck. So I just can't get past that.
I wish you could see my face right now. The slap heard around the world. So, oh my God. It finally got real after dark. It finally did.
Well, guys, you know, that was a great show.
That right there. That's one of those stories that we talked about that I don't want to have to testify, because that's some of the stuff that should be testified.
Listen. The pile driver in the pond was even Two Pair. Somebody picked him up and did like the jackknife power bomb that Diesel used to do in WWE.
I heard about this.
The pond. I mean, and he cried. And I mean, dude, like there was no. I think everybody at some point or another beat the crap out of him in that camp. And I just was like, thank God it wasn't me, man. I was thinking I'd be the one picked up and swirlied or something like that. Like, thank God it wasn't me, man. So shoot. But
we all had fun with it.
They chose him as the punching bag.
Yeah, Brandon Bell and him. That was man.
You know, I also wanted to ask you, about that. What about Aaron the Water Boy? By the way, man,
No.
you and him had some infamous races, I heard, or whatever like that, where he thought he could beat you with a bicycle.
He lived like three roads up from me. Okay, so when I guess I was a junior. I guess.
Yeah. What were you driving? Do you remember your car? Do you remember the car you were driving? Because it's funny as anything. This story.
Yeah, I did. I had a little. I don't remember what it was. It was like a little hatchback, a little gray hatchback car. Yeah. I don't even remember what it was. But yeah, every time and I'd see him in the neighborhood, I'd pull up beside him. I'd kick it in neutral. I'd rev it up. And he'd be on his bicycle now. And I'm like, Aaron, you want to run him? Oh, yeah, dude. He would pedal as fast as he could. He would give it all he had. And we're sitting here racing down the street in my car, and he's on a bicycle there.
And he's talking trash. He's like, Michael, I'm gonna beat you this time. Like, I mean, he really meant
I got you this time. I'm like, no, you don't.
Hey, real quick, you remember when the seniors used to judge like the new people when they would do a skit and everything like that? Was it really that hard for you all to stand up? When Frank went, by the way, I think like even if that had been a good skit, I think everybody had predetermined you all were standing up and making him do Dawn Patrol the next day.
Oh yeah, no, that was predetermined. Man, it could have been like the best thing ever. It didn't matter.
I just remember you all stood up nonchalant, like, oh, this isn't even like a like why are you even asking us this, coach? He's doing Dawn Patrol. I mean, everybody that was involved in that skit. So, I mean, oh my God. So that was so good. Yeah. Real quick, man, how does it make you feel of how good the team is now? You know, like I said, over 450 something days as champion, back-to-back, 29-1 out of 30 out of the last 30 games. How does that make you feel, you know, being like that old uncle like us? So.
Yeah, I mean, you get just a sense of pride that that's the school you went to and all the good things that they're doing. And, you know, because like I said, I drive a truck, so we do a shredding business. So I'm in all the area schools and everything else. And I mean, you just walk in West High School and it looks completely different. I mean, everything, field house, everything's just changed, man. It's awesome. And they just don't realize how good they got it either.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope they enjoy the stories, and you know we'll bring them on when it's their time and so forth. And they've walked across the stage, you know, and so forth. You know, Mike, real quick, I'm going to say one more name or what have you, and I really want your opinion. Two-pair Brian Tate.
Oh man, I mean, when you think of West High School, that's like I told you before. I know I haven't told it to him but. You two, I mean, I couldn't think of two people that could do this better than you two. Two people that represent West better than you and Brian. I mean, that's just the facts.
Means so much.
Thank you, man. That means a lot. That means a lot. That means so much coming from you, man. Like, I just remember you were like one of the first dudes I met in the weight room. I think, do you remember was it Joey Crawford?
Yes, Joey Crawford, cornerback. Yeah.
Joey Crawford.
Joey Crawford. Thursday nights at Joey Crawford's. If y'all know, you know. If you don't, that's all I'm going to say.
That's all I'm going to say.
I guess this is another story that you'd have to testify or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Exactly. There's people that's watching and listening. Scott Rayleigh knows. He's partaked in a few of those Thursday night Joey Crawford evenings.
I heard about him. I never was a part of him, but I heard of him. So that's why I'm quiet right now with my finger over my mouth since you can't see. Or I hope maybe you're watching. I don't know. So, but yeah.
That's dope.
Two-pair, you got anything else for our guests? I mean, he's taking the time to be away from his family.
If there's another guy, talk about the legend of Doug Madison.
Yeah.
Oh, Doug Madison. Yeah, that's another one, man. I mean, talk about when I was a freshman, you know, you're watching these dudes at running back, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out how to play linebacker. And I'm like, I can't keep up with these dudes. I mean, what am I doing? Yeah, he was another one, man. I mean, just looking back on it, man, Wes really did have a lot of talent.
We did.
I just don't understand what happened. You know what I mean?
I think it was bad luck and timing. That's what we'll chalk it up as, to be honest with you. Bad luck and timing between injuries, what happened to you, what happened to everybody. I just think it was just not the right place at the right time. That was it. So, what about Tommy Winton and Matt White?
Oh, Cheese, man. I love Cheese. I mean, that dude right there, that's probably one of the guys that I just took more pleasure in tackling than anybody else on the team, because you could hit him as hard as you wanted to. He would get up and smile every time.
You'd never wipe the smile off his face. He'd laugh about it too when he got hit hard.
He would laugh about it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to hit you harder next time. And I would, dude. He would get up and just smile and laugh. I'm like, damn, this dude is tough. And then Tommy, man, just the talent. I mean, me and him, for some reason, Coach Rogers would never let me and him go head up with each other. Never would. Because
you all were the prizes. That's the thing, man. You can't have that happen. So shoot. So that's like Ryan Scott and Marshawn Bowers going against each other. Or Braden Latham and Ryan Scott going against each other. So,
that's not happening.
I mean,
that's not happening. They never let that happen.
Or Noah Hoxie against Nathan Cottrell. You know what I mean? Type of a thing. Yeah, Noah Hoxie. So so.
But yeah, he had talent, man. He really did.
Yeah. Well, Mike, I love that we're even closer now than we were back in high school and so forth. And I know that you can always call me and I'll be there for you and vice versa. It really is a brotherhood, and I just love always talking ball with you. And real quick, can you tell the story to the audience about when you figured out that it was me being the loudmouth ruining the radio broadcast in the press box this past season?
So I'm sitting there, I'm watching on the, I was watching and I was sitting there and I heard James just yell out numbers. I'm like, I know that voice. Just a second. I get my phone, I text James, I'm like, are you standing there? Are you next to the press box that's doing the play-by-play for the TV? He's like, yeah, it's right next to me. Why? I said, dude, because I've heard you all night.
Oh, so good. So damn good. So good. I'm telling you. I mean,
yeah, it would crack me up. I looked at Lindsay. I said, that's James. I know that's James. And she said, how do you know? I said, I'm telling you, that's James.
Yeah. I mean, and that's it. Like they even put me on there on the Jack FM and give the stats and everything. I mean, like I have a presence there in that press box and got my name and my picture in the press box. I'm part of the staff, and I can't off that ring when it comes in April to join the other one. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun, honestly, and I'm just blessed to be a part of it, man. I never want it to end, to be honest with you. Troy was right, man. He can't let high school. I don't want it to end, and I want basketball to be right up there with football. I want all the sports to throw trophies in that case, man, no matter what sport it is.
Oh, absolutely.
Honestly,
I mean, I don't even, I don't really keep up with the basketball or the baseball or anything else like that. But, if it's got West Hall in it, I want to cheer for it.
Absolutely. That's why we got to get your girls over there doing sports there. So simple as that. Enough of this Powell thing. So, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a lost cause at this point.
Hey, I've got a mailbox that you could potentially use. I'm just going to just say that from the Marble City. I'm joking. So anyway, anyway, so Two-Pair, you got anything else, brother?
Man, so I know we don't talk about this guy much on the show, but what was Dixon Greenwood like as a quarterback?
Ooh.
Dixon was the guy when I was first coming in, because that was, what would that have been? I guess my sophomore year. Or no?
Freshman year. Was it your freshman or sophomore?
I think it was freshman and sophomore. I'm pretty sure it was sophomore, because I think Alton was junior year.
Yep.
So yeah, I think it was but I mean, you know, he was the dude that you could just tell everybody looked up to. I mean, he was like had control over the huddle, everything. I mean, he was what you would think of a high school quarterback. That was him. I mean, to a T.
He was a big guy too.
He was a big dude. Yes, he really was a big dude. Because again, you know, I'm coming in as a freshman, and like freshly moved to linebacker, and I'm like, okay, look at these running backs here. Well, hell, look at the size of this quarterback. Damn, I'll tell you a funny joke about that too. You know, my freshman year going into my sophomore year, I was probably maybe 160, maybe.
Mm.
So I go to GMC, tell them, hey, this is what I need. I need to gain weight. They give me this weight gainer, and it was like, they told me, drink one of these, mix it with ice cream, drink one of these every night. It was like 12,000 calories for this one shake. I'm like, okay. Dude, let me tell you, I did this for a solid month. Didn't weigh in, didn't do anything. Solid month. Every night I would finish workout or whatever, get my weight gainer, mix it with ice cream, guzzle it down. Like, yeah, this is great. You know, I'm going to put on 15, 20 pounds. Solid month. I went to weigh in. Tell me how I lost 5 pounds.
It's that tapeworm that's in your stomach, man, that it didn't do nothing. So that's it.
It did absolutely nothing except waste my time and money. So I was like, just forget it. It is what it is.
But I'll tell you one thing, man. When you hit with everything you had in you, man, honestly, and so forth. Until you couldn't hit no more, honestly. So, yeah. I mean, shoot, you talk about leaving it out on the field, you did. So, yeah, you really did.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. You know, I didn't have the size, you know, that I needed, but, you know, I brought it. I'm going to come at it ever full speed. I'm going to hit you before you hit me. That's for sure. Because, like I say, it only took one time, and I didn't like it.
That's all it takes, man. So, you know, brother, thank you so much for being a part of the show. And I want you all to have such a beautiful time on spring break down there. And definitely call next Tuesday so you can roast my ass. And just like you did when you busted it back in high school. And we'll have a good time. So, for sure. So,
yeah, it was fun. But like I say, man, honestly, I told James this several times. I can't think of two guys that could do this better than you two. That could represent West any better than you two. And I really mean that.
Thank you, brother. There's so much love back to you and your family and your kids. So, yeah. Well, brother, thanks for coming on. And like I said, go Rebels as always, man, honestly.
As always, man. Yep, for sure. And I'm sure we'll be talking in the near future, man.
Always, brother. Always. Talk to you soon. Later,
See you,
brother.
Man.
Bye.
Sure.
Well, you know, I mean, it was hey, it was still great, even with the phone there at the end. You know, we conquered them technical difficulties. We're rebels with a cause. We don't let that stuff stop us. So, yeah. So.
Absolutely, we did. Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely great show.
Oh God, yes. And so next Tuesday, are you down for the for the roast of James or what have you and so forth? So yeah.
One James Freeman.
Yeah, we're gonna roast the Italian Stallion. So, but you know, brother, great show as always, man.
Definitely, man.
You know, I'll tell you one thing. We've talked about some names coming on and so forth like that. Maybe in a couple of weeks, we need to reach out to Miss Tinian Reed and get her on there. You know, have a cheerleader or something. So
let's see. Tinian Reed, Alice Compton, Matthews, Ashley Bustle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned somebody mentioned Ashley Coward as a basketball player. You know, so forth.
I think we need to get Marlon Bustle on for basketball.
Yeah. Oh my God,
Marlon Bustle, Troy Mapp. There's a bunch of guys, man.
I know that Mike Morrow talked about Michael Maddox. That would be a good one to have him on.
Stu Oaks would be great. Sharp would be great.
Yeah, we need to like I would love to, you know, if I know he's so busy, but with baseball season, I would love to have Brandon Bell on there, you know, because he was a triathlete at West playing baseball and
Andy
really
Lane.
good at it.
Andy
Andy Lane. I mean, yeah. So, was there any guys soccer players that stood out to you? By the way, I mean, there's track going on too.
Beasley.
Yes. Yeah, I remember him. He was a really nice guy. Like
Michael Beasley would have been class of 99.
Yeah, he was a senior when I think I was a sophomore. You were no, maybe it was he 2000? I think he was class of 2000, Michael Beasley.
Beasley might be 99 or 2000.
Yeah.
I
So
can't remember. Michael Beasley was really Michael Beasley, Andy Adams,
Yep.
Philip Staples was really just he played basketball, football, and soccer.
Well, and then you also have Sean Stevens and Dusty Miller for track cross country. Right. They were the records those two set. I mean, Jesus.
And then I want to say Vince Jones, Eddie Jones.
Yeah.
Sakarn
was good in track too. Sakarn Jones. So yeah, Sakarn.
Really, really great track guy. Darius Jones for basketball, Chad Davis for basketball.
I remember old Chad Davis. So yeah.
Chad Davis.
What I have a question for you too, real quick. Were Chad and Spencer Davis related in any way?
No, everybody.
They weren't.
No, they weren't related.
I didn't know if they were cousins or so they're not. They weren't even related. Okay, gotcha.
No, they weren't related because I think a lot of people thought that when Chad came in, you know what I'm saying, Chad was the starter for those Bearden middle school teams. He actually was on that championship team with Alton, Gerald Hampton, Anthony McGee, Troy Knapp, Keith Brown. A lot of those guys. Chad was in 6th grade on that championship
with the 8th graders, with all those 8th graders.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, really
nuts.
Like I just remember that team was really talented, man. And when Chad got to West, he hits the 3-pointer against Austin East as a freshman against that freshman team. That freshman team lost to Bearden to win the championship. Like that Bearden team, I gotta give props to this dude, Michael Webb. Michael Webb was.
I remember Michael Webb. He played quarterback at Bearden High School too. So yes,
he was on that team with Kyle Cruz.
Yep.
So, funny story. I see Michael Webb in West Bearden. We beat his team 2 times in one night to win the championship my junior year.
Oh wow!
When he wasn't playing Bearden anymore because I got hurt. I got hurt the tryouts for West, so I didn't play my junior year, so I played West Bearden and gave them dudes hell.
Can I tell you all a story, by the way, about Michael Webb? And you don't even know this. We lived in the same neighborhood in Foxfire because remember, I got kicked out of Bearden.
Yeah.
But Michael Webb and me used to play basketball at his house.
I never told Michael Webb this. He actually was the reason why I got to play at West because of how well I played West Bearden. Mm-hmm. I was giving them dudes so much fits. He actually pushed me. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna lie. That summer, I'm talking about I was hitting shots from everywhere. Like that summer, I needed that summer, but I needed him in that spring, and it just took off the next summer for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, we played neighborhood basketball and football and his little brother Ryan Webb too. So yeah, from the past.
He's one of the best dudes. Like, if there's any guys that I say that busted my ass, if you ask me, he's on the list. Michael Webb's on that list, Kyle Cruz, and I definitely gotta say Lee Humphrey out of Maryville. Those are the guys that I can say. And
2-time champion.
And I'll say this one name before we go, because we're running up on time.
I hear you.
His birthday was yesterday. Shout out to my man Corey Brewer because he busted my ass as a freshman.
Oh wow!
Yeah, okay. This was season 2 pair. This
And-
was Andy Ryan's bringing down Mario Moore, Corey Brewer to practice against Senior Tizzle.
Wow.
You should have seen Senior Tizzle hitting the threes. They didn't know I could shoot.
Yeah.
And here's the funny part. I had glasses on. I didn't even have my contacts, giving them fits.
Did you have the goggles? Did you wear the
I had
goggles?
goggles. I had my regular I'm lighting them. They know.
Wow.
Corey Brewer knows. No, you don't.
Oh, I love it. Hey, I got one more name before we go. One more name, and then
Yeah.
I know we got to cut it off. Thomas More.
Thomas More.
Do you remember him?
Yes.
Freshman year, he was a freshman with you, and then he went to South Doyle or what have you.
No, he went to Fulton.
Is that what he went? He went to Fulton.
Yeah.
He didn't go to South.
Well,
Okay.
here's the thing. I played with Thomas, Emerald Avenue. I played against Thomas in AAU. I played on the Knicks. He played with the Predators. With his uncle, God rest his soul, Maurice, who Darius Jones was on that Predator team.
Okay.
Dave Curry was on this Predator team. Reggie Jones was on this team.
Wow.
I'm gonna keep going. You remember Demetrius Strickland?
I do.
He's on that team. You remember Terry Porter that played at Fulton?
Yes.
He's on this team. That
Wow.
team, that AAU team. Oh, I got another guy out of Loudon. He dated one of my good friends. Tremaine.
Okay, so he was on this team too. So,
Dude, this team was so loaded.
wow.
They actually, I want to say either they won state or lost state in AAU because they went to nationals. We lost in the sub-state to the Knoxville Heat, and then we had to end up playing in the consolation game against the Bluntville Stars, who had all the guys from William Blunt, and they were loaded. And it's crazy because then they recruited guys out of Knoxville, Brian Stanford and Larry Williford were on that.
Holy crap! But yeah, because you mentioned Brian Stanford. I remember Brian Stanford.
Brian Stanford was one of the toughest dude. The toughest dude I played against would probably be Brian.
Yeah.
Like,
I just,
toughest.
You mentioned some of these names there. I mean, I still don't know how we didn't win something more with your group. Like your group was loaded. I mean,
we were loaded as freshmen. And you got to think, I'm the sixth man. I'm not even starting. I'm not even the starter on that freshman squad. I'm coming off the bench for T Love because I was kind of like a defensive glue guy that could hit threes, that could score. I could also run point. Me, Brian Griffith, and Cash were the bench mob.
Like, I remember Brian Griffith, little guy, but he could ball. So
Brian Griffith, I don't think people realize how good Brian Griffith really was.
I don't think they do either. So so many guys gave it up. You know what I mean? Like that's why I asked about Thomas More. You know, so yeah. I mean,
and then before my phone died,
yeah, you're good, man. Yeah.
I got another guy. He didn't play with us my freshman year, but he was he did make the summer league team.
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize how good Torrey Chambers was.
Okay.
Torrey Chambers he stayed at West because Torrey, another guy, he did actually play, Amos Colbert.
Oh my God, yeah, famous Amos. I remember famous Amos. So yeah.
Amos might be, I'm gonna say this. Amos is the best player I played with. Like out of my class, Amos and Brian. And then, but I'm gonna say for me, the toughest dude I guarded was AB. AB's the best player I ever played.
Yeah, AB was.
AB's.
Can I tell you something about Amos?
AB, Amos, Brian, and before Isaac hurt his knee, Isaac Wilson, before he hurt his knee, he had hurt his knee going into our sophomore summer. when we were on AAU together, and his dad has the videotape, and he just came down wrong. I'm talking about Isaac was cooking.
Yeah.
Like, you want to talk about
people. Isaac was great on the football field.
football field, too.
Yeah, linebacker, weak side linebacker. He was. Yeah, he could
Yeah.
hit. I mean, shoot. So
Isaac is
the other one I was going to ask you about
Yeah.
real quick was you mentioned Isaac Wilson and back to Amos. You know, he was like a pogo stick when I watched him play basketball. Chris Cowan reminds me of him, by the way, a little bit, just a little bit.
He got a little Amos in him.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of Amos in
He
him.
got
Like,
that lift.
just that energy, you know, that
He ain't
lift.
got that lift like Amos.
You're
Amos
going up
is-
for a second rebound. He's already there with the hands on his
Yeah.
ball. That's what.
Amos, I ain't gonna lie, Amos really tapped in to what he was gonna be after he didn't make it that freshman year. Cause his sophomore year, he grew, and I just remember seeing him in wellness. And I'm talking about, I'm coming down court, I'm just throwing it up to him. Like, he's the best. Yeah, another guy I put up there who got better after West, my man say Koo Daddy got
God, yes.
Koo Daddy.
Say
Daddy is Koo could shoot, rebound. He was tall. He could block shots. He could be on the block. Like, you know what I'm saying? Credit to his dad, God rest his soul. Say Koo. Like, you got me going down memory lane on
You know what I think of Sekou? He was too nice, man. If he had been mean, he could have.
It would have been over for everybody in Knoxville. If Sekou was a mean dude,
he would have been the enforcer.
Yeah, a guy that got me better too, Larry Williford. Larry Williford, he was the first underclassman that like ever beat me in basketball. Like, I never lost to an underclassman until Larry, and then my next door neighbor, who I lost to. He played at Austin East. He was this little young freshman kid comes up to the Moses Teen Center. My neighbor, Brandon, he beat me. He's gonna brag about that. So if we ever have him on the show, he coaches now, and his son, he's gonna be one of the best young players that come out of this city. Like, his son, my little dude Braden. He's incredible, man. Like,
is he going to go through the Austin East pipeline? I assume.
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know.
We can get him at West. We can get him at West.
I don't know. But before we go, big shout out to University of Tennessee Volunteers who won tonight against South Carolina.
Yep.
First outright championship since 2008.
Wow. So that was the Chris Lofton senior year team, if I'm not mistaken.
And guess who's coaching at Catholic? Jawan. It all circles back.
It does, man. It does. And, you know, they've got a great shot at a 1 seed. If they finish it up against Kentucky, they've got a great shot regardless of what happens in the SEC tournament and, you know, we've got to talk March Madness next week. We've got to, because it's our month, man. It's our month.
It is.
We've got to talk some March Madness and the brackets and all that stuff. But close us out, too, Pear, because
also it is so the 23rd is my woman's birthday. So big shout out to her. You know what I'm saying? Her birthday's the day before mine.
That's cool. Now that's cool. I hope you guys got something planned nice that weekend.
Yeah, it's called I Gotta Go to Work still. It's called I Still Gotta Go to Work. But now I'm
Can I tell you this, man?
I'm gonna work something out. You
gotta take a day mental health for yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a mental health day.
Yeah, come on.
I'm gonna take a mental health day so we can just get her whatever she wants.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to give her, you know what I'm saying, that, because it'd be bad if I don't mention her birthday on the show.
Exactly. So
Natasha, happy early birthday. See, I got it out the way.
Happy early birthday from the
South. So when we look at the playback, I done told her happy birthday. So Natasha, happy birthday. Let you do all that good stuff. See, look, I ain't got to worry about nothing else for 365 days. Okay,
And keep up with them push-up challenge. I hope you're still doing the push-up challenge.
Oh my God. So let me tell you. I hit the wall
Yeah.
on day 30 when I tried to do it like before work and stuff. So, but yeah, man, it's been a great show. It was a great show tonight. Michael Lynn, a fantastic guest.
Yeah.
I mean, the guest lineup has been really great, man.
It's been pretty fire. And if we're getting some names that we've mentioned and the Scott Rayleys who are really not on social media, that's going to be pretty awesome too.
Yeah, I definitely want to get Coach Mays on. I know.
Yeah, we got to get, and you know what? I'd love to get Coach Giles. I'd love to get Coach Lindsay. I'd love to have those guys.
Yeah,
on.
Coach Lynn. Oh, me and Coach Lindsay got a major beef my senior year.
Yeah,
we're gonna tear into Coach Lindsay.
Well, you could give that guy 4 hours. We'd need almost 2 parts of 2 shows or whatever. He's got so many stories. So yeah. So he was West. He was West before we became West. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
He's got 30 years on us. So
absolutely.
Brother, I love you, man. Close us out and we'll wrap it up, man.
Hey, y'all know how we do it. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Hey, make sure you don't step on those shoes. Stallion and Pear out.
You know it. Go Rebels.